and we're cronking today. It is First Chronicles, and I'm Ken.
I'm Nicole.
Welcome back to Access. Nicole was informing me about a popular contemporary dance known as
Crunking.
crunking. So we're going to take a page from that. We're going to be crunking.
I don't really think we should be.
Okay. No crunking. No.
I think we can't do that.
Okay, fair enough. I don't even know what it is.
I know, clearly. Clearly.
I am the increasingly uncool Ken, and
You're just dad.
I'm just dad. It's true.
You're cool in other ways, Ken.
Yay! We're going to talk about First Chronicles and Second Chronicles, and they ostensibly tell the same story that we get in First and Second Kings, and a little bit of Samuel with the rise and the fall of David and the kingdom. And for this reason, a lot of people haven't really cared much about it. I have a confession to make, Nicole.
What is your confession? I will hear your confession.
And please absolve me. I did not read First or Second Chronicles at all during seminary.
What?
Not even once.
Huh?
How about you?
I believe I listened to them on tape.
That doesn't count. Sure
Well,
it
then
does.
I didn't read the whole Old Testament.
Hey, however you get the information, right? That's how you get it.
Yeah. In seminary, they give you too much to read, so you gotta get creative.
I actually was encouraged not to read First or Second Chronicles because I was told by my professors that it's a derivative book. It basically tells the same stories over again, and if you're going to read anything, read First and Second Samuel and First and Second Kings. I now, having come back and studied First and Second Chronicles, am really grateful for it, and I think you need not to read all of it, but you need to know about it and understand the book. Why? It's because it tells the same stories, but it tells them from a radically different perspective. We are out. We are out of the Deuteronomistic history.
Amen.
Oh. We have now leapt past the Babylonian exile, and we've come back after that period of time where Israel is coming back into the land, and they are trying to order everything, clean up, and restore the life ahead of them. And so it's in this time that they then write the book of First and Second Chronicles, and they're trying to kind of tell the story given this new perspective. And this new perspective tells some things that we didn't get in First and Second Kings, and it ignores some things that we did get. And I'm trying to think if we're going to do,
You know what? It's just interesting because I think First and Second Chronicles to you is what Leviticus is to me. Like, kind of these books that get overlooked, and it's about how to do worship in a new setting.
That's right.
When you're coming out of a bad situation.
That's right.
Like, the situation that the Hebrews are very similar.
Yeah.
Kind of as you were saying, it's the exiles have happened, and they're coming back into the land, and they're trying to figure out how exactly are we going to worship, who do we understand ourselves to be. Yeah, that's what they're doing. And so through this, the telling of kind of the rise and fall of Judah, it's not of Israel.
Right.
It's of Judah. It's the southern kingdom only. They are figuring themselves out, which is really interesting. What else to say about that? They're concerned a lot with worship.
Well, let me do the themes.
Okay, sorry.
All right, the themes. We want to hear. First thing is Nicole was pointing to is the worship. We're going to be focused exclusively on the southern kingdom, as she was talking about. No bad Israelite kings. We're not even going to pretend they exist. Only Judah, and only then, really, mainly about the temple. And the kind of worship in the temple. We're going to hear about how aspects of worship were reinstituted, like the Passover. And good kings would, reinstitute, remember parts of worship. Bad kings would forget. There is a heroism in the whole 1st and 2nd Chronicles, where we're going to go back and we're going to look at David and we're going to look at Solomon, and we are not going to remember their rougher edges. So we're going to look at the story about in the time of spring when the kings go to war, and we're going to find out with David that Bathsheba doesn't even exist in 1st Chronicles.
She's just not mentioned.
To them, they just conveniently write her out of the story, mainly because they're telling it in a different way, and it's a different time when people need heroes. Mm-hmm. And so this is a time when we're going to talk about how great David is, and not how human David is. As I think what you were kind of alluding to, they're not disagreeing with the other portrayal, but they're trying to show a different perspective, given the needs of that day. There's one more thing I know that I wanted to talk about. It's the another thematic element, if you will. It's all of the lists of people. One of the reasons that you will hate 1st and 2nd Chronicles, and it's okay to hate this aspect, is there will be tons of lists of names that will mean nothing to you, and you will be very frustrated if you try to read it word for word, going through all of it. I want to free you right now. When you see a big list of names like that, go ahead and look at it a little bit, but jump over it and move to another part. But know why they're there. These genealogies are there because, the people's back, they're back in the land, they've had the exile, and what they're really trying to do is reconstruct who they are. And so these names mean nothing to you or I, but if you were to do a genealogy of your family, you go into painstaking detail about your aunt's second cousin twice removed, because it's your family. And that's what 1st and 2nd Chronicles is trying to do. They're trying to piece together their family history after terrible things have happened to them. So maybe you can understand it in that way and have some empathy for the text.
Because they're feeling like their family has been destructed.
Yes.
And so they're reconstructing it.
Exactly.
It's a rebuilding.
Exactly.
And so any tiny piece of information, like who's second cousin's grandmother, is really helpful for them and acts like a root that grounds them back into their homeland.
Great.
It makes a lot of sense when you think about it that way.
And we also get stories
we get some stories.
1st Chronicles that we don't get in 1st Kings. Sometimes people say that 1st and 2nd Chronicles is just a whitewash of the earlier ones. That's not true because we get more information. The first story we're going to look at is the story of David and the water from Bethlehem in chapter 11. And David has just been made king, and then he's at war with the Philistines, and he's just with his 30 warriors, his 30 picked men once, and he goes, "Gosh, I wish I had some water. I wish I had some." What's your favorite water? Like Fiji? I like Fiji water.
I like the Fiji bottle.
I
can't tell the difference.
They're all the same.
Water is water.
Water's water. He says, "I wish I had some Bethlehemite water. I wish." And his warriors sneak and take their own lives into their hands, and they sneak into Bethlehem and they draw water up from the well and they bring it back to David. It's a curious thing. He takes the water, and he didn't actually mean for them to do this. But he doesn't drink it. It's not an insult, but it's because he respects them so much, and he says, "I will not drink their water. That would be like spilling their blood." And it's the story of this heroic leader and king who values his men so much. In a way, he allowed them to drink it, and he was saying, "I can't believe you did this for me." But he's showing you this is not a king who's going to use his people and abuse them. But he's going to honor and respect their sacrifice when it